Hello and welcome everybody, my name is not Nathan and welcome to another unboxing here on my channel. And today we are going to be talking about the Nvidia Shield console, not to be confused with the Nvidia Shield handheld and tablet. And so we're going to be, this particular model is the Pro model. However, there is a basic model, it's just called the Nvidia Shield. Not sure why Nvidia chose to go with that kind of a naming scheme when they already have two other Shield devices, like the Shield handheld and the Shield tablet. So this, I feel like this is just going to make things more complicated when you're trying to Google search and do some research on your specific device. And so what this is supposed to be is an Android TV device. So you plug it into your television or whatever screen you use to watch your media, and it's supposed to be able to access various apps, like be able to watch YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, Twitch, etc., etc. But this thing is also good for gaming, and one of the big things that made this popular, it's really thin, and then it can be viewed in 4K. Like 4K is compatible, and 4K 60 FPS is compatible. So this does have an HDMI 2.0 port, which allows for that connectivity. And so the difference between the Pro model and the standard model are a couple different things. Number one, the big thing is storage, because the thing is the basic Shield has internal storage of 16 gigabytes, while this Pro one we have here, if you're able to read the label there, it says it is 500 gigabytes, and it's only for $100 more. So this particular model comes in at $299 MSRP, and the standard comes in at $199. Things you get with both of them, you get $30 Google Play credit on both models, and you also get 3 months free of the Google Play Music service, which I do currently use right now. And so I'm now getting 3 months for free, so that's awesome. The thing that the Pro also gives you is a copy of Borderlands, the pre-sequel, which is another $30 value. That's like, okay, cool. It wasn't like a big selling factor, but if that's what if you really want that, cool. And so really, this device becomes more like a $200 device with also you're getting $30 Google Play credit, you're getting Google Play Music, and you're getting Borderlands the pre-sequel. So it kind of makes it seem like that this is more of a $200 device, which still is vastly worth it. I think $300 is still worth the price of this. So we have two things here. So we have the main product and the accessory. Like this remote control does not come with it. This is like another $30, $40, maybe it's $50, I can't remember, dollar accessory. And so what comes in here, you get the console. Like actually it says on the side here is that you get the Shield console, the controller, HDMI cable, 500 gigs of storage, and the Tegra X1 processor. And so you can kind of see that. If I can hold this steady, worth a damn. Yeah, you get to see that right there. And so you can see on the back how it advertises like all these different apps and stuff like that you can view, and the 4K content and stuff like that. The only other accessory there is the vertical stand, which I did not get because I felt like that all the accessories to talk about, that was like the least important one. What I mean is the vertical stand is the ability to be able to have the console stand vertically instead of horizontally. And I was like, between getting that or the remote, I'm going to pick the remote. And what makes this device better than a lot of other TV entertainment systems like the Apple TV, the Amazon Fire TV, the Nexus player. This thing has built-in Ethernet that supports gigabit, which is huge, especially when you're trying to use the Nvidia game stream, which allows you to play, like, stream games off of your computer onto the Shield device, as long as you have a compatible Nvidia card in your system. Sorry, AMD fans, this is probably not for you in this case. But the thing is, on the Shield Portable, like the little handheld, the only thing that was a real limitation was the fact that you were only using Wi-Fi. That was the only option, and so sometimes you'd get an unstable connection depending on where you were in the house. But here, when you have it plugged in, it's going to have a nice solid connection using that gigabit to your desktop. So without any further ado here, let's crack this baby open and see what we can find in here. So I like that a lot of these manufacturers are starting to allow a little pull tab there to open up, because man, you know, if I don't have to use a knife, that's awesome. I'm trying to be careful because I like to keep these boxes intact, because this is actually a pretty nice box. Alright, so let's get this guy open. There's no foam on the top cover, so that's interesting. So we'll put that off to the side. So the first thing we see is the console. We'll just set that off to the side, but we'll go through the accessories first, and then we'll kind of look at the console. So as you can see from inside there, you have your controller, you got your HDMI cable, USB connector, your power cords, etc., etc. Oh, I see. This is just a little adapter because I'm sure they probably do this by design so they can have one charger, but then depending on your region, you can send a different power plug and whatnot for that. So we'll look at the controller first. We'll undo some of these little stickers here, little plastic covers. Yeah. And they put a lot of plastic covers on this one. Oh, and it already has a charge in there because it's already trying to turn it on. So there's the controller. The triggers are, you know, they're alright. I mean, they're not the best, but they're certainly not the worst triggers I've ever used. The joysticks feel very much like an Xbox 360. The D-pad's not as like tactile as I'd like it to be, but the other buttons are pretty good. You have your volume up and down buttons here on the bottom. You also have some touch navigation buttons as well as voice search. And on the top here, you can see we have a micro USB for charging, and then you have a headset jack, like a headphone jack. So if you're listening, you can plug your headphone into the jack. If I point at the right one, and that will allow you to be able to listen to audio at night and not disturb anybody else. And so we kind of talked about this stuff already. Here's your HDMI 2.0 cable, your micro USB cable for charging, and as we said, the power adapter for the Shield itself. And then some booklets and stuff that I probably will not use. So we'll put that box off to the side. And so lifting the Nvidia Shield, this thing actually has some heft. It's like this is a lot heavier than what I was expecting. It's really bulky. And so the other thing is, like, if you run out of storage somehow on this thing, you have the ability to use micro SD. You also have some Ethernet jacks. You have your HDMI, gigabit Ethernet, and then I believe micro USB connector. Not quite sure what it's for yet. And then the final connector on the side here, I'm not quite sure what that is. Unless that's USB Type C, I'm not entirely certain. Maybe we do need the manuals after all. Oh, I see. Duh, power connector. That's how it connects. Dumb moment of the day. So yeah, there's no physical. Well, there is. Not too much of a physical button. I'm not sure. It's probably a sensor, but there are no physical buttons on this. I'm sure this is just a touch activation, kind of like the Xbox and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and we'll open up the remote here. Get that guy open for us. Well, so much for the barcode. And so what you get inside of here is some more manuals that we won't read, and a micro USB cable. And that's about it. There's not really that much in here other than the remote itself. And the remote's kind of heavy too, because this is kind of all metal, so that's really cool. It doesn't feel cheap whatsoever. That's awesome. And so you have your voice search button. You have things like back and home button that are normal Android. You have your navigation wheel and stuff like that. It doesn't spin like the old Apple devices did, but you have your select button and stuff like that. And then from the diagram, it's like this little area on the bottom is a slider for volume up and down. And so there is no back plate on this, so the way you charge it is through the micro USB on the bottom, and then there's a headphone jack on the bottom as well, kind of similar to the controller where you can plug in your headphones to the remote. This is kind of a feature that's been available on devices like Roku and whatnot for a while. So you have the ability to listen to audio, and it'd be basically like having wireless headphones in a sense, but you're not, but you still have this big wire coming out of your ears, but it's not tied down to anything really. But so that's gonna do it for the unboxing portion of this. We will get this hooked up, so then you guys can view this, see how the OS looks in a moment. So bear with me while we do that. All right. So we have the Shield plugged in, and it's currently booting up for the first time on my console, and so of course it's going to ask for your language, and you can see the controller's already paired up to that, so it's all set to go. So first it's going to ask me to sign in to my Gmail, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, now as you're logged in, you agree to the terms and services, and you can say, do you want to let Google and third-party apps have permission to use your device's location? Yeah, I don't care. We're going to leave a lot of this as default stuff anyways. And, ooh, now you got the Nvidia EULA. Enjoy! We'll just take a little bit. And so here we are at the OS. Oh, and now, okay, here we are at the OS. It's like, I was like, there's nothing here. And so you have various apps. I have Google Play Music installed there already, YouTube. stuff like that. But you can go to the Google Play Store if you'd like. We got to sign into my account. It's going to know which apps I've already gone through and purchased. So many EULAs. And so you can see that you see various apps like, like Crackle, Hulu Plus, Epix, like the Food Network, some various games, Pandora, iHeartRadio, different sports channels, TED's videos, stuff like that. There's a lot of different stuff on here, and this is just like the start. I mean, you go through each one of these and you just keep going over. And the thing is, like, sure, there may not necessarily be like a ton of apps, but the thing is, it's always growing. And plus, the device hasn't been out for that long, so I'm not surprised that the app selection in the Android Google Play Store isn't very much. Because that all comes with time. The thing that we will do, one thing we will do for sure, is try and pair up the remote so then we can test that out. Yeah, it's me. So we can go into Shield Accessories at the bottom. Now we're going to see Controller, Connect an Accessory. And so because we're using the remote, man, this lighting's not very good. You have to hit the two buttons it says there. There we go. Now it's all good. I just forgot to do a step. All right, now the remote works perfectly fine. Action movies. So you basically just press the little O icon at the bottom. Just press and hold to do a search, and you see your list of action movies. I think some of the OS sluggishness is just kind of like a lot of the initial stuff that the thing has to go through. But we'll keep playing around with it. I'll rehash on this a little bit later, just to see what I think of the console over time. But right now, this is plugged into my Seiki 4K monitor, which only supports 30 FPS right now. But from looking at the static screens here at the OS, it doesn't really matter on FPS. It looks really good. It looks really, really nice. So I'm very happy about that. But that's going to do it here for this video. Tune in next time for more tech videos, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, a thumbs down if you didn't like it, and if you do give me a thumbs down, let me know why you did that down in the comment section below. I'd be curious what your thoughts are. And so, as always, we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.